Hey, what's up, everybody? This is the Political Brown Kid here, PBK. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're tuning in, and I hope everyone is well and okay. Today, I don't know. I guess I'm okay. It's just I'm having an overload here, so I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm not even going to waste your time. I guess the thing that's upsetting me is really this. I mean, don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. I mean, I like this. I'm glad that people have suddenly had this awakening, this awareness of, the black plight, should I say. But I don't even know how to take this. I mean, I'm just being honest. I think the thing that's bothering me is this. All of a sudden, I mean, George Floyd is the procuring cause for this, and the incident that happened to George Floyd, should I say, which was horrific, in the protests and his, the protests and even the rioting. Like I told you before, riots are just as effective as protests. They're more effective. I'll be honest with you. I think I've said that. And with all of this, it's caused a lot of white people, white businesses, white run business entities, as well as white individuals to come out and have this big awakening, this racist awareness awakening. And I'm gonna be honest, yeah, it's good to see, but at the same time, it just ticks me off because now I'm just getting an overload of it. And also, it's like, where was this 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 50 years ago? Why all of a sudden now that you're having this big awakening and revelation that racism is such a problem and black people are really, really struggling? I'm being honest with you. And let me just throw out a few examples. I mean, I've said this before in previous posts. Now, all of a sudden, I mean, think about this. 10 years ago, Colin Kaepernick lost his job and nobody would even touch him. He's plutonium. He's literally plutonium to the NFL. You can't even touch him without your organization just disintegrating. I guess people were scared that the fan base would run away. They would get death threats, all kind of stuff. No one would ever touch. It wasn't even thinking about touching this man. Now all of a sudden you hear all of these people coming out 10 years later after this man hadn't had a paycheck in 10 years. This man's been sitting at home, I don't know, doing God knows what, but I'm pretty sure I hope he's comfortable. I hope he's okay. He makes far more money than I do. So I hope he has a nice cash reserve, but he's been sitting at home for 12 years. I don't know how long. He's been sitting at home for a long ass time. Overtaking a knee, respectfully taking a knee. And now the NFL wants to double back 10 years and say, oh, we were so wrong. And then you have all of these people. I had Pete Carroll come out. And although I'm not trying to say Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks owed him a job because maybe he wasn't a fit. But now you have all of these other coaches and GMs, Commissioner Adam Goodell with his sorry self. And everyone's coming out with all of this. We recognize race. Race is a problem. And we hear you, and Black lives do matter, and we're going to do better. Well, why didn't you do better 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago? Why did it take a man to lose his job and take you threatening all other players? Jerry Jones threatened his whole damn team. Of course, old compromised Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, they compromise. They're white compromise, white girlfriends. They compromise. So, of course, they're not going to speak up. They're tame. They're lame and tame. I'm being honest with you here, man. I'm just being honest. It took all of this for people to come up and say, you know what, we have to let these black people speak their mind and have freedom of speech and freedom of thought because this is a problem. Seriously. The Washingtonian magazine. I keep telling y'all, I'm proud to be born and raised from the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C. Born and raised, stomped them streets all my life. The Washingtonian magazine. Because it almost feels like these people are trying to capitalize off of this Black Lives Matter movement. I'm being honest with you. It's almost like these people are really trying to capitalize off of it. The Washingtonian, I've been living in DC all my life, grew up. I can tell you how the streets run. I can tell you everything about these streets, just about. Tell you where the spots to eat at, everything. For the past, I don't know, ever since I've been knowing and reading the Washingtonian, I've been reading the Washingtonian for a while. They've always come up with the 50 greatest places to eat at in Washington, D.C. Half of these places that they list are in Silver Spring, which is Montgomery County, Maryland, right across the line, not too far away, but it's in Montgomery County, Maryland. It's in Arlington, Virginia, Alexandria. They even go as far as Baltimore, talking about stuff down there. All these spots have been white spots. D.C. is a city. Let's not get this twisted. D.C. is a city that is 70-something% black. Now it's down about 50, I think 50 or 50% black. It's still a predominantly black city. All of these nice black restaurants that you can name and all of these nice black businesses that have been in Washington, D.C. since I don't know, as far as I can remember, at least the 80s, 70s. That's how far I go back. And the Washingtonian they probably mentioned maybe 1 or 2% of them. I'm just throwing out a low number. It was a low number. Their focus has always been on the white side of the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. And if that meant going all the way to Annapolis, Maryland, Silver Spring, Maryland, Montgomery County, Maryland, or they won't even touch PG County. They don't even list businesses in PG because PG's black. PG's black. PG County is black. They're not going to mention the businesses in PG County or in the district itself that are black. They're going to go to Northwest DC. They're going to talk about Georgetown businesses, and then that's it. They're going to talk about those restaurants, those businesses, those cultures. Now, all of a sudden, they want to come out. I'm not making this up. I just looked. We're in June of 2020 now. As I'm making these posts, June 2020, they're going to come out with an article: the 10 black businesses that you could support, or the 10 black business. They're the hottest, or something to that effect. I'm not totally correct on what the article title was, because as soon as I saw the title, I just got pissed off, because it's like now everyone is giving a black overload. Now, all of a sudden, everyone wants to support a black business, which is great. But you read from my post before, white people have never had reciprocity, financial reciprocity with black businesses. They don't shop in black neighborhoods. They refuse to. They refuse to shop at black businesses. Now, all of a sudden, you want to throw black dollars at us because we done burnt your damn cities down. I told you the riots worked. Them riots worked. The protests didn't. I'm telling you, the protests didn't work. The riots worked. I'm not condoning the riots, and I'm not supporting the riots. I'm not going to do either one. I'm not going to rebuke the riots, and I'm not going to praise them. I'm just giving you the facts. The riots worked. You burn somebody's stuff down, then you're going to get some attention. Washingtonian writing stuff, black people that you can throw money at today, tomorrow, and forever. These are I'm paraphrasing. That's not the title of the articles. So don't call me up talking about that's what they wrote. But now all of a sudden you're showing all of these black, basically the essential point that I'm making is you're showing black attention, and now these black people are getting news articles written about them in your paper. And you're a Washingtonian magazine representing a city of used to be 70-something% black people, now at least 50 or 47% black people, and you can't write quality articles that shows black lives. They used to do campaigns in DC. They used to do commercials in DC talking about this is so DC. You know, they used to have these so DC campaigns, or this is DC life. Basically, I'm paraphrasing here, but they used to have these little campaigns going around through the city, and all you see is all these white spots. Seriously, you didn't see the big chair. You didn't see the big chair from Southeast. You damn sure didn't see Northeast in there, Chuck Brown Park. You're not going to see that. You're not going to see any of the black side of DC. You didn't see a black face in these articles. It's amazing. Now all of a sudden you want to talk about The black, you want to talk, you want to have this black moment, this black clarity. Now I'm just looking at the article. I'm just waking up this morning. It's 5 something in the morning. I'm just checking my news feeds. I'm getting tired of checking my news feeds. I see now Kristen Bell and all of these white actors have come out talking about, I guess apologizing for racism or acknowledging it. I'm glad you guys are doing it. And I'm not even saying Kristen Bell is a racist. I don't know anything about it. I've seen her movies and stuff. I like Kristen Bell. But what I'm trying to, and she may not be even a part of the problem, but now they're going on these campaigns to talk about racism. Here's my problem with the feminists and the Me Too movement. Yes, I'm going to talk about you. I know I'm probably going to lose half of you Me Too people. I'm about to lose you. I don't care. I mean, the Me Too movement I'm not going to dive into the Me Too movement, but the Me Too movement is this. The Me Too movement was founded by a bunch of white women. Let's be honest. Let's be clear. A bunch of white women who probably legitimately do have concerns. But if you look at it, because now I'm not talking about the race. I'm not talking about the sexual abuse. I'm not even going to dive into that because that's outside of my purview. I can't take away people's experience. And I'm pretty sure women have had those experiences. But when you got the girl, Katniss Everdeen, I don't know her real name. I forgot her real name because like I told you, once I start talking, sometimes my mind goes blank. But when you got Katniss Everdeen and all of these white female actresses talking about they not paid well enough and they don't get the Hollywood record. Number one, you're in Hollywood. You got teachers out here who make $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 and they have to buy their own kids' school supplies. You running around playing Katniss Everdeen, playing make-believe army in the woods, and probably got paid at least $1 million for that role. At least $1 million just for that one role. Why? Because get it. I'm coming from a black perspective. Before you guys get mad at me, you gotta understand the context of what I'm talking about. I am a black man with a master's degree in information technology, got a bachelor's degree in management, and can't get hired as a manager or as any type of manager anywhere because they figured as high as I can come up. They respect me for my smartness, but no, he's not. No, we don't feel comfortable with him in a leadership position. And here you are running around in the woods, acting, getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars. And here I am looking at the movies that my people get played in, Booty Call. We get to play these low budget movies. We get paid way lower than you guys do. We don't get those star roles. Name a black Game of Thrones anywhere. Name one. I'm running around looking at all of these women. I'm hearing white women complaining about their roles and their salary. In comparison to white men, yeah, you probably do have a problem. You probably do. But where's your Me Too movement including, because when Martin Luther King had his march on Washington, he included the women's movement, which Martin Luther King was wrong for doing. I'm going to say it. Like I told you, we're going to talk about Martin Luther King. We're going to talk about him. He included the white women's movement and let them come in and dilute the movement from the black movement, which the women's movement has always overshadowed and come in and diluted the black movement. It just has. When all of these black deaths started occurring, the Me Too movement popped up because they saw an opportunity. They sprung up, and all of a sudden you stopped hearing about the black issues until George Floyd. This is just honest. I'm speaking honest truth, at least from my perspective, from what I'm viewing from my couch and from walking these streets. Black movement was occurring. Eric Garner, Philando Castile, Sandra Bland, all of these black people getting killed. And then the Me Too movement popped up and they started talking about sexual abuse and, not getting paid and how white women have been wrong through history. And I'm not denying that. It all depends upon the context. I mean, I can't deny, I'm not going to talk about sexual abuse. I'm pretty sure you probably have. And I'm not going to touch that. I'm not going to take away your truth on that. Because we know that women do go through a lot in this country. And not just in this country, let me take that back, through the world. But black people go through a lot too. We go through rapes and hangings and murders and all kind of stuff. So I'm not going to discredit your movement there, but what I am going to discredit you on and challenge you on is the fact that white women can honestly look a camera in the face and complain about their pay when they have starred in some of the biggest blockbusters. Wonder Woman. Katniss Everdeen had 4 movies. It wasn't a trilogy, it was a quadruple. She had 4 movies. And she was the starring lead. I hope she got paid the most. I mean, I can see Woody Harrelson raking in some checks just off of his name and his fame and his game. But, I mean, you done starred in 4 movies as the lead character, Katniss Everdeen. I'm looking at Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is the biggest show on TV. One of the biggest shows probably ever. And I'm looking at Arya Stark and Sansa Stark handle their business. 2 black faces that's in the show are damn slaves. One doesn't even have a ding-a-ling. We're going to talk about that, the castration of black males in another post. And I'm going to run down a whole slew of movies where they mentally or physically castrate black men in movies. We're going to talk about that. But all of this I can't even turn on my Netflix. Netflix, you another one. You got a lot of racial movies that you trying to dilute. You trying to whiten up black people because you're always pairing a black woman with a white man. You're always bedwenching a black woman. We're going to talk about bedwenching too. And mandingoing. We're going to talk about that. They don't look. We're going to talk about all these commercials that you can't even look it up. You can't even look at a commercial and see a black couple in a commercial. They always pairing us up with a white man or a white woman. Even our little kids, they pairing them up. But can't even turn on Netflix. Now Netflix got a splash page of blackness. I mean, again, like I say, it's bittersweet. It's kind of, oh my God, I'm getting overloaded with nothing but blackness from white people. Every time like I said, I look at my Google News feed. It's a shameless plug for you, Google News, because I love my Google News. That's the first thing I look at early in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning when I get up. And all I see is how to support a black business. Which black businesses can you support? Now, just read, like I said, I'm up early this morning. YouTube's going to give away. They're starting a fund to create $100 million for creators and artists, black creators and artists. Good. I got a movie script right now that I wrote that I've been trying to pitch. Like I told y'all, I'm a very creative person. I'm left-handed. I'm a right brain thinker. I'm creative. Always been that way. But I can't get on. Ain't nobody trying to put me on. I'm going to pitch my stuff. I'll put my hat out there, see if somebody bites on my movie script. I hope they do. So I can put on more black people. That's my goal. Look, I'm 40-something years of age. I done made the money that I'm going to make. My goal now is to help other black people. To start me at Howard University. I'm a Howard University graduate. Start me at Howard University pipeline. Help these young black kids come out of Howard and Hampton and eventually Delaware State and all of these other HBCUs. And I'm going to help them get jobs. Nice jobs, not just no starting entry-level job. I done made the money that I'm going to make in life. Of course, I want to make a little bit more, but, for the most part, I'm done. $1 million, making $1 million to me now. I mean, of course, I'm going to take it if I made it, but it's really doesn't. When you start getting older, your perspectives change. My thing is, it's really all about these, not having these young black kids start out in the mailroom as they used to read my book. When I put my book out there, my book on my life story, my career, how they stuck me in the mailroom, I want y'all to read that. As a manager, they stuck me in the mailroom. A young white woman did that to me. Every manager that's wronged me in my career has been a white woman. That's what the Me Too. Y'all want to talk about Me Too movements? I'm gonna have a Me Too moment for myself. Me too. Yeah, me too. I've been wronged too, and it's been by you, white woman. 3 white women wronged me. Stuck me in the mailroom. Tried to write me up bad performance. Lied in my performance appraisal. Had to have a white man change my performance appraisal. because he knew what was going on, and he immediately pulled me into the office and said, "I'm taking this out." And we had a conversation about it. We had to have a conversation about it, unfortunately. But that's what I'm talking about. I mean, you got a bunch of white women crying, actresses now. I mean, I could see if you was a doctor or a teacher, something of importance. But we're talking about acting, getting on stage and acting like you're a baby, or acting like you're a savior of a planet Zeron or something. That's acting. It's craziness. And you complaining that you only make $10 million or $500,000 in for one movie, and some white man got paid $800,000 for $800 million. I don't know. And here you are, black people can't even get major roles. The only time a black person can get a major role is if they paired up with a white man. I'm being honest. Let's be honest here. When the last time you seen a blockbuster black movie? The only one you've ever seen in your lifetime has been Black Panther. Chadwick Boseman. That's the only, and that's why black people want to act like, oh, why did black people turn out? Why were black people so happy? That's the first movie you ever saw that had all black people in it. Didn't even have a love story. They kind of had like a little love sizzle going on. They don't even show black on black love anymore. We're going to talk about that in another post. Because they trying to breed us out. They trying to breed you black people out. But that's why we were so happy, and that's why black people turned out in droves to go see Black Panther. A lot of people didn't even care about that movie. They just wanted to support it because it was an all-black movie. Black director, black camera crew or writers, behind the scenes and in front of the camera. All-black movie. But any other time you have a black movie, pair her up with a white man. Make it so that the white man loves her so much that he'll walk through fire for his black chocolate love. That's what we get. Or you pair some white or some black boy up with a white girl. Make her, she's trying to learn how to hip hop dance and she's not quite getting it. And then John Javante from the hood comes in and he just so madly falls in love with her that she's the only thing. She's his Snow Queen. That's what they're doing. We can't get these type of movies that y'all get. I can run down 100,000 movies where white women were rocking it in movies. White women just spectacular roles. We don't get them type roles. You see Octavia Spencer in a role, she's a spiritual guy. She's just the non-threatening. She's like the moral, her and Morgan Freeman. And any other black, they're just kind of like the spiritual, the moral compass of the movie. That's it. And then it's always some white woman who gets this great role. Hell, Hallmark Channel cranking out 100 million TV shows, 100 million made-for-TV movies every week. They got 55,000 Christmas movies. That's an exaggeration. I hope y'all know that that's to be true. That's an 55,000 though. They got 55,000 Christmas movies. They're about to start making Halloween movies. I guess. I don't know. And all of them white women falling in love with a white man. You ain't gonna find no black movies, black people falling in love. They make them few and far in between. Y'all white women are working in the Hollywoods. What you complaining about? Now, how can we get, I'm still on my rant. I know I stayed on the actresses a little long, but it had to be said because I don't get the acting part. You're not that important. You think you're important, but you're not that important. You think you know more than what you do. Just because you're an actor, you think that gives you, that gives you a degree in socioeconomic issues, a political science degree, because you're the only ones on TV thinking that you know how to solve everyone's problems. You think you're smarter than what you are. You don't see anybody of real intelligence with a real degree in anything or real life experiences on TV. It's only actresses. That's what's wrong with America. America only respects athletes and entertainers. They're the only ones who gets on TV and act like they know every damn thing. I mean, if I need to learn how to play dead or if I need to learn how to cry on demand, then I'll call you. But otherwise, I don't need you talking about politics. I don't need you talking about economics. Stick to acting. If I need somebody to sing a song in C flat, we'll call you. Okay? I'm just keeping it honest. Again, let me jump back into this too. You turn around again in my news feed. How can we promote black people at white companies and help them share in the prosperity of the capitalism and lessen the wealth gap? How can we get them more money? You get them more money by giving them a company. Break up Google, break up Facebook, break up Twitter, break up some of these companies and give them one. You can't have a white person give. A job cannot be in the hands of a white person. These black people have to own a company and they have to start hiring their own, actively hiring their own. And I've talked about that in my other posts, but it's not going to happen because black people have a lack of nation. They have a lack of nation. There's no unification amongst black people. There's no nation between blacks. Black person going to build a company and they're going to go out and get 35 white executives to run it. And the black people are going to be admin assistants. And, occasionally they're going to have one person there in HR. Black people excel in HR. If you ever start looking, this is a lesson for all you white people out here who are listening to me, and I hope you're listening. If you ever go to any companies, if you go to the human resources department, it's filled with black people. They're going to give black people the diversity and inclusion, a director position. That's what you're going to be. You're going to achieve in diversity and inclusion. That's where you're going to make your money at. You're going to achieve working in the HR department. It's a fact. I'm not trying to be funny. What I'm doing is I'm keeping it real. I am keeping it real with you guys. So these are the problems that I see. I just wanted to just point this out to you guys. It's just a lot of black ass kissing, I guess. That's the only word I can put it. I mean, like I said, it's bittersweet. It's good to see that this is on white people's mind. Let me just make this point too. I was listening to one of these major networks, cable news outlets, and you got a white woman on TV talking about what black people's problem is. I'm not lying to you. And she was like, the problem in the workplace is there's no black representation in getting hired. They're usually interviewed by all white people. Just like the Rooney Rule says you have to interview one black candidate, you need to at least have one black person interviewee or interviewer in the interview so that they have a voice in who gets hired. This come from a white lady. I swear to God. Look, I'm telling you, all these white, I think this is just a ploy for people to make money, because these people have no idea what's going to get the black people out of the problems that they're in. You hiring, and like I keep trying to tell you people, you white people giving black people a job is not going to solve anything. Black people are going to have to give something to themselves. Malcolm X tried to help you fools. Malcolm X tried to, when I say you fools, I'm talking about white people and black people. Malcolm X tried to help you. But you didn't want to follow Malcolm X because you thought Malcolm X was too dangerous. He was too much of a threat. So you picked the lesser, you picked the more docile Negro to endorse. White people. I'm talking about white people. White people said, we ain't going to endorse this joker right here. This joker crazy. We're going to pick this joker right here. Malcolm X had a full plan laid out to help black people out. And he got discredited. And that was to black people's detriment. We're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about it because it has to be talked about. Black people, you're on the wrong path. You're not going to get anywhere until you start back over. You're going to have to drive all the way back to where you started from and get off the path you're on and get on the right path. You continually marching down this path isn't going to solve your problems, because you gonna have a whole slew of other problems. Black people, you just now solving your problem with white people, and this problem isn't solved. You're just solving a problem you have with white people. What about the problem you have with other black people? Colorism. White people don't even know about that. They know about it, but they're gonna play dumb. What the hell is colorism? What's that? What the hell is colorism? That's what white people are saying right now. What the hell? This Negro doesn't know what he's talking about. He's talking about some colorism. He's made that up. Okay. You're just now having your white moment. How you going to solve your problem with your other black friends, with your black friends that can pass that brown paper bag test and you can't pass it? How you going to solve that? You got a Rwanda genocide potentially on your hands if you don't solve your colorism issues. If you don't know what the Rwanda genocide is and how it got started, basically the Dutch separated the light-skinned blacks from the dark-skinned blacks, and it came to a boil. You're going to have a Rwanda genocide on your hands here in the United States of America. I can pretty much guarantee that. That moment is coming because you got a lot of blacks out here who act like they ain't black. Naomi Osaka, Roy Hachimura, and half of you light-skinned jokers running around in the NBA, dunking with your black jeans, but you don't want to admit that you black. You got a lot of white, light-skinned football players, Patrick Mahomes, running around not admitting that you black. You gonna have a big problem on your hands when the black on black, when people talk about black on black crime, you ain't seen black on black crime until that colorism thing hits the fan. And it's going to hit the fan because they trying to create a whole new race. They trying to separate, just like how they separated them blacks in Africa. They created a whole new race called coloreds. It's black people, white people, and coloreds. And the coloreds are the lighter skinned blacks. And they doing the same thing here in the United States. They creating a white people, black people, and then, oh, you're not really black. You're mixed. So the colorism thing is going to hit you. Be prepared for it. Be prepared for it. Shamar Moore, he confused a little bit. I'm black, but I'm still white too. He confused. He confused. But it's unfortunate. But you're going to have a colorism thing to deal with. White people ain't going to help you out with that problem. I'm trying to help you out. But let me get back on topic here. White people trying to donate money. Look, I'm telling you, you cannot give a black man a job because anything you give to somebody, you can take away. If you give somebody a promotion, you can give them a demotion. If you hire somebody, you can fire somebody. You can't give black people jobs. You can't talk about how can we give them better jobs and how can we promote them up. You start with me. I got a master's degree in information technology. I got a master's degree in management. I ain't heard no white person right now trying to give me anything. I want y'all to read my book. I swear to God, when I put my book out, y'all gonna be like, God dang. But you know what? Probably about 8 people listen to my post, so y'all ain't gotta worry. The 8 of you people who stumble upon all of these recordings, you may or may not check it out, but ain't nobody gonna read my book because don't nobody care about me. That's halfway. That's why I talk what I talk, because I know there ain't nobody gonna listen to me. Ain't nobody listening to this. But what I'm just trying to say is, you have to. White people, you're going to have to, this is your problem that you're going to have to solve. And the only way you're really going to solve it is through mass reparations. You're going to have a real sweep of, just like over in Africa. Africa at one point tried to solve their black problem, their white problem, really, should I say, because white people, y'all the problem. Y'all been the problem, and y'all scared y'all have been scared for, or I shouldn't say scared, but y'all have been hesitant for 400 years to own up to the sins of your father. And we're going to talk about the sins of the father. The sins of your forefathers. Thomas Jefferson is not my forefather. Abraham Lincoln is not my forefather. Christopher Columbus is nowhere near related to me. He better not be. But you need to own up to the sins of your fathers. I don't need to own up to the sin. I mean, I gotta own up to the sins of mine, but my fathers ain't wrong too many people out here. We ain't got that much type power. But you need to own up to the sins of your father. Africa tried to correct their white problem. They tried to say, hey, look, we need to take some of this land away from you white people. We need to take some of this stuff away from you guys because we got to distribute the wealth through the country. And we got to take away some of the stuff that you guys accumulated through colonialism. And the rest of the world got mad. The United Nations up in arms over them. United States up in arms over them. They're taking away the stuff that their ancestors stole rightfully. Well, how in the hell do you think these Africans are going to get out of the situation that they're in? Unless they are given power through ownership of companies, ownership of land. You're gonna have to do something. Otherwise, the 8% of the white Afrikaners that are there, I hate to even call them that, are going to still be able to buy up everything in Africa. And the Africans that are making $3,000 a year are just going to be still getting by, living poor. And the United States is going to have to do the same thing. At some point in time, you're going to have to say, you know what? Here, black people, take this business right here. We'll take IBM and break it up into 55,000 businesses, and we're going to give it to 55,000 different black people to run. And those black people are good. But here again, here's the black problem. I try to tell you guys what your problem is. Psychologically, your trauma. You hate other black people. You can't stand another black person. As soon as that white man gives you that business, you're going to go out and hire a bunch of white executives. And the problems are going to start all over again because those white executives are going to start firing black people and not hiring black people. And then you're just going to have a black man that owns a company full of white people. But at some point in time, somebody's going to have to say, look, here's your business. You have to maintain a staff of 80% black people. You own the great thing that y'all could do is give black people the football industry and the basketball association. Kick all those owners out. Give all of those businesses to black people and tell black people they have to hire 80% black. They can't screw that up. People love football and basketball too much. They can't screw it up. Give them that business. That would create a whole bunch of generational wealth so long as black people don't go around marrying white people and giving their money to their white wife or their white husband and create. But if and we're going to talk about that interracial thing too, because like I told you, black people ain't ready for it. You are not there yet. You're not there yet. But if you give black people an industry, one that they dominate, and tell them that they have to maintain a certain percentage of executives, 80%, it's got to be predominant. You can eliminate a lot of the problems that you have. And you need to give out reparations. And you still need to give out reparations. Give them black people 2 industries that they can own and control. And then the white people, y'all can still control the tech industry. You got the tech industry, you got Walmarts, you got the Home Depots, you got all this other stuff. But give black people 2 industries that they can dominate in. Asians have industries they dominate in. The Jewish people have the industries they dominate in. European Caucasians have the industries they dominate in. Black people don't have an industry they dominate in. They're just worker bees. LeBron James is a high-paid worker. And even those high-paid workers, ask Oprah Winfrey how many black executives she has. I'd love to know. These people don't have a pipeline. Like I told y'all, Mark Zuckerberg and or Facebook and Google, they have pipelines. Specific universities, Google. And one thing I will say about Google, let me just point this out. Google did say, hey, look, and Google did this years before this whole racial stuff started. You know, I respect Google. One of the founders is from the DC metropolitan area. I respect them. They had a pipeline. They started with Howard University, my alma mater, and they started a HU West, Howard University West. And, you know, they had a pipeline where I guess they were trying to give kids exposure to the media industry. That pipeline is still going on. You can look it up. I think it's still going on. But we don't need that type of assistance from white people, because in 20 years from now, black people are all they're going to be doing is talking about how the white man saved them. Y'all going to have to at some point step aside for the federal government. I'm telling you, the federal government's going to have to allocate certain businesses to us, or encourage participation from people to black businesses, incentivize people to support black businesses, and black people are going to have to do this themselves. Malcolm X tried to tell you people, black people are going to have to do this on their own. And because I'm telling you, if white people just start giving black people jobs, white people start just supporting black people and uplifting black people, and it's going to become the white savior all over again. That's what we're doing. You're going to have the white savior in 20 years from now. The white man saved us. He loves us so much. He saved us. And then I guarantee you something's going to happen else again. And then we're going to be right back where we started from. It's a cycle. You got to break this cycle of stupidity. Break the cycle of stupidity. Give black people an industry and step aside. The only thing you can do is support it. You can buy from it. You can purchase from it. But you can't go in and try and give black people jobs and give black people this and nurture black people. Black people going to have to learn how to do that on their own. They're going to need to get over their own psychological trauma, because obviously you're not going to get any counseling now. So it's going to be up to those black people who've already made it. Those, you know who you are. It's going to be up to those black people who've already made it, who reached billionaire status, multimillionaire status, who reached the status where they can say, you know what, I need to consciously employ black people. And I'm not talking about selectively employing the light-skinned blacks that you find cute and pretty, because one rapper's already doing that. All he doing is plugging in cute little black light-skinned girl, because he got a light-skinned fetish anyway. I won't mention your name, but that's all they're going to do. But you need to employ black people at your black companies. And it's going to be up to those blacks. You're going to have to, at some point, you're going to have to look at the allegory of the cave and who's going to be compelled to leave that cave and go back into the cave and show people the light. And it's going to have to be done by a black person, because we can't have 20 years from now us talking about how the white man saved us after George Floyd's death. White people, you got your own responsibility. You need to have some conferences. I'm talking about conferences in every city. At one time, you're going to have to designate a month or a week, something, and y'all going to have to sit down and talk about why y'all hate black people so much and what y'all can do to get over y'all's racist bullshit. That's what you're going to need to do. Y'all need to work on your own psychological trauma. You don't really have psychology. You just have hatred in your heart. You need to work on that. You need to take a black anger management class. That's what you can do. While we employing our own and we working on these businesses that y'all gonna supposedly give us to run and employing other black people, y'all need to be having some psychological, y'all need to, every psychologist in America can right now become a billionaire, because they got a lot of white clients that they need to be working with. And these are just facts. So I just wanted to bring this up today. I mean, I'm just getting tired of seeing all of these news reports coming out from white people about the revelations. I'm tired of the splash page on Netflix. I'm talking to you, Netflix, about how you understand and you hear us black people. So come watch some of our good movies with black love and white love intertwined, because that's what you're pumping down my throat. You pumping down 7 seconds. Pretty sure you pumping down some movies where some black woman is loved up with some white man. That's all that you see on Netflix. Netflix ain't gonna show you no black on black, not unless it's a hood movie. That all day, all night. That's when they pump out the black hood movies, the hood love. But that if Netflix puts some money behind that movie, they gotta give her if they're gonna put a black woman and a white man together. Comedy Jogo ain't been with a black man in a movie since 1922, since 1812. She ain't been with a black man in a movie in forever, because they done stole. Halle Berry ain't been in a black movie with a black man since forever. Halle Berry loved a white man. She loved a white man. They hold her out in that movie that she did with Billy Bob Thornton. She don't care. She making money. She making history by getting Oscars and stuff. She's, you know, that's some things that she gonna have to come to reckon with. We'll talk about that later too. We're gonna talk about this stuff. But I'm just tired of seeing your splash page about you understand our problem. Now you got white people wanting to celebrate Juneteenth. You got all of these news feeds about how y'all can start helping us, which is good. Like I say, it's bittersweet. This is all bittersweet information, but it's becoming annoying. So I'm going to sign out right now. If you want to holler at me, please holler at me. Reach out and holler at me. I ain't scared of you. I can be hit on any of the platforms that you see me on. If you're on my personal website, just reach out through the website. And if you're on any other platform, just look for the hit me up button or leave a reply.